for Carolina. Opening pitch of the ball game is bounced right back up the middle, handled by the shortstop Baker, but the throw not in time. The Tar Heels see one pitch and have the first base runner of the game. So in the circle for the Blue Devils, working with traffic behind her on the base paths, Jayla Wright, an ERA that sits right around 1. Senior who is playing loose and having by far the best season of her college career.
Yeah, the senior is playing with confidence this year. You can see it in the numbers. Only 19 walks to 83 punch-outs this year. She's having a career year, Jayla Wright.
But Wright now dealing with Skylar Brooks. Fires in a first pitch strike. Coleman aboard behind her. Brooks is a senior out of Texas. Captain of the Tar Heel infield, per head coach Megan Smith-Lyon. Plays second base, has played some outfield in her career. Everybody back and ready to go. And Brooks hits another bouncer right up the middle. It's grabbed and tossed on to first for the out. It will advance Coleman up to second base. Let's take a look at the rest of the starting lineup for the North Carolina Tar Heels tonight. Coleman leading things off and Brooks hitting second. Abby Settlemeyer returns after not starting the last couple of games. Keep an eye as well on Isabella Emmerling in the cleanup spot.
Yeah, all the way up through this lineup, you can go 1 through 9 and pick anybody out as sort of a star-studded person to watch in this game, but Abby Settlemeyer, the grad student, is one of those as well.
Settlemeyer, 6th year in a Tar Heel uniform. Has the extra year of eligibility afforded by the pandemic. Also was injured for a season. So she has been around this program for a while, playing for both the previous head coach Donna J. Papa and now Megan Smith-Lyon. Trying to give the visitors an early lead here against the very tough to score on Jayla Wright. Settlemeyer missed the last couple of games for the Tar Heels. That included a 4-2 midweek loss against UNCW, a very talented Seahawk team on Wednesday. Went into Chapel Hill and earned that victory. Wave and a miss at the changeup. Rain, you and I were talking prior to the game about how similar the pitches out of Jayla Wright's hand. Her drop ball and her changeup look. That was the change at 59. The 7-mile-an-hour difference had Settlemeyer baffled.
Yeah, absolutely. Right out of the hand, they tunnel exactly the same way, so really hard to identify those pitches. And similar, the spin is definitely hard to recognize, too, for these hitters.
Settlemeyer does pick up on that one at 61. Levels up the count 2-2. Talk about the importance of a rivalry like this one. Settlemeyer out of Hickory, North Carolina, Jayla Wright from Charlotte. And even though Duke softball, a relatively new program, the rivalry aspect of Duke Carolina has definitely embedded itself in these two teams. Bouncer to first, flagged by Tapia. And back-to-back ground ball outs after the initial infield single.
And that's what you'll see a ton from Jayla Wright, getting balls hard on the ground. And one thing to note about Duke Softball Stadium here in Durham is that infield is hard and will only continue to get harder as the night rolls on. And so for this Carolina lineup, they're in a pretty good position because nearly half the lineup uses the ground very effectively. So we'll see how that all plays out here today, Matt.
Well, Rain, here's a player that doesn't necessarily use the ground, and it's Isabella Emmerling, 11 long balls on the season for the San Diego native. And this feels early on like a really big spot in this ball game. Runner on third in the top of the first, but Jayla Wright's got 2 outs. Only needs 1 more to send her team back to the dugout in a scoreless game, but Carolina's most powerful hitter stands at the plate.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Matt. And there's always names in a lineup that, hey, we won't let her beat us. And of course, Alex Coleman sticks out, but she's not going to beat you with a long ball like Isabella Emmerling might. So you got to circle this name and say, we're not going to let Isabella Emmerling beat us with the long ball today.
Swings through a pitch at 70 miles an hour, 1-1. And worth noting that Emmerling is catching for the Tar Heels again tonight. Autumn Owen, another Marshall transfer. Very powerful bat who put up huge numbers in the Sun Belt last year. Missing another game for the Tar Heels. That's her 5th in a row missed. Emmerling looks it over just out of the zone for ball 2. Owen was listed as questionable into the weekend series. We could see her as the weekend goes along, but it is Emmerling, who started every day but hasn't caught every game for the Tar Heels, who's back there behind the dish. There's that changeup, comes in at 62, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, you can tell this Carolina team came into this game trying to hunt down against Jayla Wright, but this one, you can't do anything with. Watch Jayla Wright pull the string on this pitch out of the hand, looks like a drop ball. Emmerling takes a hack, doesn't recognize the changeup. I wouldn't be surprised if Duke goes right back to that pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Emmerling lays off of it. Count runs full.
Yeah, another well-executed changeup. That one a little too low. And as a pitcher, you're always trying to make your pitches be purposeful pitches, out of the hand. Yes, 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 no as a hitter, but that one a little too low out of the hand. Emmerling doesn't bite.
So now a full count to the dangerous Isabella Emmerling. Swing and a miss, and Jayla Wright is fired up. Come in now 11th in the nation, team batting average. First pitch from Kenna Ray Dark to Tapia, just away for a ball.
And you know, Matt, we talked about that drop curve and on her glove side, meaning into these lefties. And what I'm looking for early in this game is, can she locate that pitch in? Because these lefties, if you miss over the middle, they will make you play at the top of this lineup.
1-0 pitch. Similar spot and another miss for ball 2. And another factor with lefties at the plate is that the wind is blowing out toward right center field. So if you miss over the plate against a lefty and they get one, it's going to go up in the jet stream, probably out of the ballpark. And Tapia lifts one toward right center fields. Playable for Carson Sneed. The senior's got it.
That's a huge out for this Carolina team to kind of relax a little bit. Of course, it's the crosstown rival. There's that added pressure there, but it's also the number 2 ranked team in the country. And for this Carolina program with NCAA tournament hopes, it's a big game. So to get that first out, to get Giselle Tapia in the dugout, it's got to feel really good for the Carolinas.
We talked to Megan Smith-Lyon, the first-year head coach of the Tar Heels, about coming in here not just to play in a rivalry, but to play a team with the number 2 next to their name. And she said, you cannot play with fear. You've got to come in, be aggressive, play fearless. That is the only way to go about playing confidently in a game like this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's actually what helps them is the fact that this is a rivalry, because Duke feels that too.
Ball and a strike now on Claire Davidson. There's Marissa Young, former assistant coach at North Carolina under Donna J. Papa. Has been immensely successful leading this Duke program that has their first hit of the game, a single to right field by Davidson, upping that .438 batting average.
A really nice glove side pitch by Kenna Ray Dark to hit the black, but it's Claire Davidson who gets her barrel in front of her, gets her barrel through, and shoots one through the 3-4 hole. And if you're Carolina, if you're Kenna Ray Dark, you'll take that all day long with the way that Claire Davidson has been putting balls out of the park so far this year.
That's just one of those rollers on the ground that found a spot where the infielders weren't and couldn't get there. Moran, here's the player you told us about just a couple of moments ago, Amina Vega, the ACC Player of the Week. A lot of different contributors for Duke in the series sweep against Virginia Tech, but none stood out more so than the sophomore.
Yeah, she was nearly unbeatable, and the reason that she's so important to this lineup is because she's behind Claire Davidson. And so she protects Claire Davidson with the year that she's having. Most teams would like to pitch around number 7, but when Amina Vega comes up, you can't pitch around Claire Davidson. And Vega, only in her sophomore campaign, has cut down on the strikeouts. She's got power to all sides of the field, and she's really, really stepped up so far this year.
Comes in top 15 in the ACC in batting average and hits. Signed for the conference lead in doubles with 12 as well. Hits a bouncer back up the middle. Skylar Brooks flipped to Settlemeyer for 1. That's all the Tar Heels will get, but they do cut down the lead runner.
Yeah, another really well-executed pitch by Kenna Ray Dark to get a ground ball from two of the hottest hitters in this Duke lineup. Really nice job getting that lead out like you mentioned, Matt. And Carolina sitting in the driver's seat compared to what other teams have seen from Duke early on.
And I think that idea of managing the rivalry and playing a team that's highly ranked and dealing with the emotions of that, the quicker you start, the better off you're going to be in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, the first inning jitters for any pitcher can be a challenge. Carolina has been very good in the first inning this year. They score first often with Alex Coleman at the top of this lineup and some other bats right behind her. So just to get through this first inning without any damage is good.
On a goal, a looper to the right side, and Skylar Brooks sacrifices the body to make the third out.
The great career of Coach Donna Papa as she moves on into retirement, to see a woman like that at the forefront of this program. It's very exciting for the ACC and for the University of Carolina.
Should say semi-retirement for Coach Papa. She's a colleague of ours now at ACC Network. She'll be on the call for Sunday's Game 3 of this series. And a player that she coached for 5 years, Lexi Godwin, who, like Abby Settlemyer, is a sixth-year member of the Tar Heel program, leading off here in the top of the second. And because Duke is only in its 7th season as a varsity softball program, this is the first time in Megan Smith-Lyon's career as a player, as an assistant coach, or now as a head coach, that she, a diehard Tar Heel, has competed against Duke. Just add some extra juice to tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And when talking to her before this matchup, there wasn't, the rivalry knows no bounds. It's every sport and it's in all ways. And she kind of expressed, hey, we feel that, but it's all about respect at the end of the day. Both of these programs greatly respect one another, and they just battle every single matchup. So it's so much fun to watch up here in the booth and for our fans out there as well.
Coach Smith-Lyon talked about how much respect she has for Duke and Coach Young and what they've built in such a short amount of time, saying that this is what her program aspires to, understands that there is work to be done, that it's ways down the road in a building process, but just a ton of respect for what Duke has done for this sport and for the ACC in softball. Jayla Wright worked around the leadoff single in the first inning. Head in the count still on Godwin after firing one into the dirt. Lexi Godwin, one of 9 North Carolina natives on the Tar Heel roster, hailing from Selma in the eastern part of the state. Wright's 1-2. Check swing. Did she go? No. 2-2. Call made by our first base umpire, Rusty West. Good job by Godwin to work the count full after falling behind 0-2.
Yeah, really nice job. And you can tell these Carolina hitters have come in with a game plan. And I love the box presence, if you will, by Godwin. Kind of has like that Juan Soto shuffle after each pitch. It's fun to watch.
3 balls, 2 strikes, swing and a miss. Wright ultimately wins the battle and strikes out Godwin for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, the drop ball is working well tonight. This one falls off the table at 70 miles per hour, misses the barrel of Godwin. And Jayla Wright gets her second strikeout of the day, and 14 is fired up.
Gave up the leadoff single to Alex Coleman. Now has retired 4 in a row. Now face the freshman Sanaa Thompson, left fielder for the Tar Heels. Player that Megan Smith-Lyon said was given an opportunity at the start of the season, has taken advantage and seized that opportunity. Pretty good numbers for a freshman campaign.
Yeah, not bad. She's been incredible so far, and when you look at those numbers and you consider the kind of colder she's been in the last 8 games, it just speaks to how impressive that she's been early on. And Coach Smith-Lyon talking about how she's handled that adversity, and she's handled it well, and that's what you want to see out of a freshman.
Loops it to right field, and the Tar Heels have their second hit of the game. Play was close over at first, but Thompson hustled down, and she'll be aboard with 1 out.
And that's what Sanaa Thompson has done all year long, is just find barrels, use her power. This one, she goes with it. She gets kind of under the drop ball, if you will. Of course, a little line shot to the right side. But that's the approach you have to have against Jayla Wright, is to get your barrel underneath of that drop ball and sort of try to hit fly balls, but have the sort of success of the low line drives.
How difficult is that as a hitter?
It's hard. You have to commit to seeing it below where it's going to be.
Carly Myrtle, fly ball, center field, ballpark will hold it. The catch is made by Jennings for out number 2.
And Carly Myrtle, of course, in the box score doesn't show up, but that's the approach you want. Of course, for slappers, it's completely different. Use the drop ball to your advantage, use the ground, use your feet. But for these righties, get underneath of that drop ball. You'll start to get those low line drives. Of course, Carly Myrtle a little too far under that one, but a good sign if you're Carolina.
Sent that one to the warning track, 220 to dead center here at the Duke Softball Stadium. Destiny Middleton, the senior, looks over a strike. That's a ball that Myrtle hit there that would have been out in Chapel Hill. It's only 200 to center field at North Carolina's home park.
Yeah, that's a batter-friendly park. I loved playing there back in the day.
Ball and a strike on Middleton. Sanaa Thompson over at first, got aboard via the one-out single.
And this Carolina team is definitely not one that is afraid to run. And Sanaa Thompson already 8 stolen bags on the year. I expect some movement here at some point in this count.
Tar Heels as a team lead the ACC in stolen bases. Looked like Thompson is starting to take off. Middleton tags it foul. That's a philosophy for the Tar Heels that's carried over from the Donna J. Papa era.
Yeah, this Carolina culture has always been use the feet, manufacture runs, use the speed, take advantage of defensive miscues, and they have not skipped a beat this year.
Ball and 2 strikes on Middleton. Bouncer to the left side. Backhanded by Baker. Her throw across is not in time. Now a throw to third, and a heads-up play by Thompson. She'll go first to third on the sequence. Carolina with runners at the corners and 2 down.
And this is what we're talking about when we're saying using the ground. Desi Middleton does a really nice job of chopping this one over the right side, but it's Sanaa Thompson, the base runner. 2 outs, you're rounding, and she went first to third on a ground ball in the infield. That speaks to the
Tar Heels put a runner on third. Couldn't score in the first inning. Now I have 2 on, 2 out, top of the second. Five infielders for Duke. And Sneed fouls back the first pitch.
Yeah, we see Claire Davidson actually coming in from right field, playing first base. Giselle Toppy has shifted over to that traditional second base position. Amina Vega stands right next to the second base bag, so she will have the steal. And all of this is high risk, high reward, anticipating that C is going to hit a ground ball in the infield.
And she does just that. Bouncer to the left side, tossed over to first, and for the second inning in a row, a Carolina runner will be stranded at third. Still scoreless, middle of the second. Legs keep everybody fresh as you start to push toward the postseason. Just about a month away now that the calendar flips over to April. Closer than ever. Starting out the postseason and the always exciting road to Oklahoma City, a place that Duke certainly believes they can get to this year. Marissa Young said her team not satisfied with the way that last year ended, a home super regional loss against Stanford, future conference foes. Kelly Torres sends a fly ball to right. Catch is made by Coleman a few steps shy of the track.
Yeah, and there we see Kenna Ray Dark using that drop curveball. And for the righties in this Duke lineup, that's the pitch that you have to attack. And for Kenna Ray Dark, that's the one you want them to attack, knowing it's got the best movement of your repertoire. So keep attacking that glove side to these righties, and I think Kenna Ray Dark will have success.
And she throws that pitch really hard, too. First pitch strike at 65 to Freelick.
Yeah, Matt, she throws it hard, but she can spot it, and that's critical. You know, nowadays in the college softball world, 65 to 70 is pretty standard, which is insane to think about how 10 years ago that would have been, you know, put you in the top 1%. But for Kenna Ray Dark to spot that corner at 66 miles per hour with movement, with late break, it's very difficult to beat as a hitter.
What's tougher to hit, speed or movement?
For me, it was always the movement. Because speed, you just got to get your foot down in time. Movement, you have to read the spin.
Freelich laces it to right. Misplayed by Sneed. Freelich hustling. She's going to try and take second, and will do so.
Well, Francesca Freelich can do it behind the plate, but she can do it in the box as well. This time takes a drop curveball and gets her barrel out to that pitch. And when you hit the ball hard, good things happen, Matt. Carson Seed fumbled it a little bit in center field. Francesca Freelich, the senior, took advantage.
The Blue Devils with a runner in scoring position and one down. They will officially score it, rain a single and an E8. Just a slight slowdown by Freelich that the official scorer saw. Now here's Sarah Goddard, the left fielder for the Blue Devils. Senior has seen an expanded role this year in the Duke lineup. Key glue player in this order for Marissa Young. And in a way, it's kind of like Freelich, who doesn't start every single day. But in Goddard's case, 17 starts a year ago, had just 7 total her first 2 years, but now as a senior, kind of doing it the old-fashioned way, waiting her turn and contributing for a really successful team.
Yeah, most kids in Sarah Goddard's position would have, you know, hopped into the transfer portal. But I think that just speaks to the culture that head coach Marissa Young has built here at Duke, and that they don't want to leave.
Goddard stings one, slow roller, Brooks on to first. Played well defensively by the Tar Heels. It will advance the runner to third.
Yeah, really nice job by Skylar Brooks there to attack that ball. If she had not gained ground and read the speed and pace of that one, Sarah Goddard would have legged that out. Really nice job by finding an out. And if you're on the Duke side, yeah, it's a nice out in that you move the runner, give yourself an opportunity to score in many more ways, I should say, here with Jada Baker up the plate.
It is Baker, the Duke shortstop, who will stand in. Tar Heels have gotten a runner to third in both innings so far, have not been able to score. Now it's Duke's turn to put a runner just 60 feet away. Baker, the third-year sophomore, with an even stance.
And Kenna Ray Dark is just continuously peppering that outside half to these righties. And until they make an adjustment, that's what you do. Use your best. And for Duke, these righties, they need to communicate with one another, get up on the plate, and take away that pitch.
Baker flashes the bunt, takes a ball. You said get up on the plate. Is that the key main adjustment that you want to see them make?
Yeah, and also just take that half of the plate away. Sit that side of the plate. Of course, if Kenna Ray Dark can establish that inner half, can just throw strikes on the inside half of the righties, it changes the whole complexion of your approach. But until she does that, sitting on that outer half is the way to go.
You can see Baker reaching out, fighting one off foul.
But the risk you run if you're Kenna Ray Dark is an at-bat like Francesca Freelich. Peppering that outside half, seeing her not bite, and then eventually they catch on. And so for these righties, it's sort of like who's going to make that adjustment quickest.
Another foul ball by Baker. That'll be interesting to monitor a second trip through the order. The next 3 Duke hitters, 9, 1, and 2, are all lefties. Jennings, Tapia, Davidson.
So Matt, one thing we've seen this year that's brand new is one-way communication devices from the dugout to the defense. And this is first-generation technology, so sometimes you'll see pitchers call time as they've not received that pitch yet from the dugout.
Foul Foul ball off the hands.
And there's that up and in, and that's crucial for Kenneray Dark to establish that she will go up and in, because now these Duke batters can't sell out to the outer half knowing that Kenneray Dark will go in on her hands.
You see Dark consulting the wristband on her left hand, flashing a signal to the dugout and ready to deal a 2-2. It's a little fister right side. Myrtle will make the play. 3 times now. Devils undefeated here at Duke Softball Stadium, taking on their arch rival North Carolina here tonight. Time to start the second trip through the order for the Tar Heels. That's Alex Coleman, Skylar Brooks, Abby Settlemeyer. Blue Devil senior Jayla Wright continues in the circle. Ball and a strike on Coleman as Wright begins this second trip through the order. Blue Devils, as they have utilized throughout this game with the lefty slapper up, they've got 5 infielders out there. And Coleman beats the shift, dumps it into left field for a base hit. She's 2 for 2. Megan Smith-Lyon, head coach of the Tar Heels, said that she just wanted her team to focus on their process, not worry about shifts, and it shows off there.
Yeah, I think if you put 15 players on the field, Alex Coleman would still find the hole here. She shoots one to the left. Goddard diving on her way in, unable to make the play. But such good bat-to-ball skills. And to your point, Matt, when you start to think about the shift, then the shift has already kind of beat you.
And Duke will keep it on with another lefty slapper and Skylar Brooks up at the plate. But yet that's a balancing act, right? Because there's 5 infielders out there. So if you are a lefty that's prone to hitting a bunch of ground balls, your probability of getting a base hit is going to go down when you've got all those infielders out there. And so you have to find a way to counter it, but also, like you said, Rain, not let it get in your head.
Yeah, and to your point, Matt, you also have to let it inform you about where you're going to get pitched. For example, right field is completely open. If Skylar Brooks were able to get under one, hit it to right, it's going to be an in-the-park home run for her. But at the same time, understanding Duke's not going to throw her in. Probably not going to throw her slow and in either. They're going to throw hard away and expect her to hit it on the ground. But the thing with this Carolina offense is, even if you're standing there, they're so good at using the chop slap to hitting the ball hard onto the ground and letting the air do the work and letting their feet do the work. The more hang time they can get on those chop slaps, the more success they'll have.
2-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 2-2. Okay, dictionary time. Chop slap.
So chop slap meaning kind of exactly what Skylar Brooks likes to do very, very often. She'll use a split grip, but what I mean by chop slap is chopping something down into the ground, creating that big ground ball, kind of like what we saw from Alex Coleman in the top half of the first.
First of 2 hits for Coleman in this game. She's aboard at first base as the count goes full on Brooks.
So there's a number of different types of slaps. The soft slap, where you kind of throw your barrel out. The hard slap, power slap, where you swing all the way through, and then kind of what sits in the middle there is a chop slap. I was never fast enough to even think of these ideas back in the day, but had to play defense on them.
There is a bouncer back to the pitcher. Tossed on to first, just in time. Close play. Brooks asking if maybe they'd consider reviewing it. Seems like we're going to play on, though.
And this is Skylar Brooks doing that chop slap, this time to Jayla Wright. Jayla Wright's had some trouble this year with throwing the ball overhand. This time gives it up with just enough time as Claire Davidson stretches for the out. I like trying to sell the safe call by the Carolina dugout, but you're right, Matt, we play on, and it's a very productive out if you're Skylar Brooks.
Worked a deep count, moved the runner over. Now the Tar Heels 3 for 3 and having a runner in scoring position. And now, even though Abby Settlemeyer hits from the left-handed side, Duke is back to a more traditional defensive alignment against the veteran shortstop.
Yeah, Abby Seldemeyer can use her feet. That is a part of her toolbox, but she also has a ton of pop. She can push one in the gap quickly. She can hit balls out of the ballpark. The home run numbers jump off the page this year, but it's in her toolbox.
Does hit a ground ball, though, to the right side. Put it in your scorebook is 4-3. Guess what, Rain? 3 innings, 3 times the Tar Heels have a runner at third and 2 out. Couldn't break through the first couple of frames.
Yeah, they continue to knock on the door. And that's exactly what you want if you're third base coach Corey Lyon, the hitting coach for this club, and head coach Megan Smith-Lyon. Just keep adding pressure. Pressure, pressure, pressure until they crack.
Here's a player that Corey Lyon really likes, Isabella Emmerling. Struck out swinging her first time. Megan Smith-Lyon, the head coach of the Tar Heels and the wife of the hitting coach and third base coach Corey Lyon, said that when they came to Chapel Hill over the summer, the staff spent a lot of time reviewing video of returning players, and Corey Lyon was immediately drawn to Isabella Emmerling, felt that their styles meshed really well and was really excited to coach her. I think it's paying off with the 11 home runs this season.
Yeah, she's got a very sweet swing, having a hard time right now identifying the changeup out of the hand of Jayla Wright. And so for her, that first pitch of the at-bat, to take that was huge progress because she was kind of free swinging in the early at-bat she had. But a sweet swing by Isabella Emmerling.
Again, that's the drop ball at 69. Emmerling swings through it, 1-2.
And one thing, Matt, she doesn't get cheated. You know, she takes 3 huge hacks every time she gets up to the plate. Just right now has to get under that drop ball, but I expect the Jayla Wright to pull the string on the changeup here soon.
Runner at third is Coleman. 2 down, top of the third. Wright's 1-2. No swing by Emmerling. There you go, that was 62. Didn't get her to swing through it, though.
Yeah, there's the changeup, if you will. I mean, 62 for a lot of players across the country is their fastball, but that just speaks to the velocity that Jayla Wright has on that drop ball. But a really nice job by Isabella Emmerling to hold up on that pitch.
Count goes full. Emmerling, third-year sophomore from San Diego. Facing the senior Duke ace, Jayla Wright. Never one shy on emotion. Imagine you get quite the reaction if she strikes her out here. 3-2 pitch. Walked her. Out. Not what is the pitching coach feeling, but rather what are you feeling? Now here comes Taylor Wyke. This conversation is going to continue with our plate umpire, Chris Tahanika.
And so a new rule this year is the pitch clock has decreased from 25 to 20 seconds. And like we were mentioning earlier, is that one-way communication device, those watches that it looks like these players are wearing, that is that communication piece that sometimes the relay isn't there. And so that's why you'll see Jayla Wright call time and ask for it to be sent once more.
First pitch strike on Godwin after everybody got on the same page. And as you said, Rain, it's technology that's in its infancy, so there's going to be kinks to get worked out, but it does help move the game along and make it more fan-friendly as the sport of softball continues to boom as a television product. 0-2 on Godwin. Two on, 2 down. Godwin struck out swinging her first time, just like Emmerling, but Emmerling drew a walk in the second plate appearance. Here's a 1-2.
And another strikeout.
For the third, Deanna Jennings, Giselle Tapia, Claire Davidson. It's a trio of left-handers facing Kenna-Rae Dark, and Jennings with a seeing eye single right back up the middle. Blue Devils have a leadoff batter aboard for the first time tonight.
Deanna Jennings doing what she does best, using the ground to her advantage. This one gets a barrel right out over the plate and shoots one up the middle. And Deanna Jennings on most teams across the country, maybe 95% would be the leadoff. But the depth of this Duke offense, she sits at the 9-hole and does a really nice job of turning this lineup over.
And Marissa Young said that there could very well be a point in time this year where she's right back up at the top of the lineup, so her move to the 9 spot far from permanent. But it just kind of continues the point that we've been talking about all game long, that there is almost an embarrassment of riches in this Duke batting order.
Yeah, you can move people in and out of all different types of positions. Speaking of Giselle Tapia here.
It's Tapia who's about to right back up the middle, bobbled, but the shortstop Settlemyer will step on the bag. May have been a chance at 2. It will be 1 out.
Tapia gets on top of this one up the middle, kind of casts on her swing. Settlemyer fumbles it a little bit. I think they had a really good chance there for the double play, but the lead out nonetheless, and a crucial out in this inning.
Maybe, perhaps, the brain a little bit ahead of the hands there.
Could be, absolutely, especially when you got Deanna Jennings with the speed that she has coming at you.
But still, as we said, it is an out. And we're aboard at first and 1 down for Claire Davidson. Has that average sitting right up around 440. Darks 1-0. Went up above 440 with her single back in the first inning. One of now 3 Duke hits on the game. All 3 Duke hits, though, have been singles. In fact, all 7 hits by the 2 teams combined have been singles tonight. This is a dangerous spot here for Dark. 3-0 count, already with 1 runner aboard, and Amina Vega, who is red hot, awaiting on deck. Four-pitch walk to Davidson. Blue Devils have something cooking in the third.
And that's a piece of Claire Davidson's game that has grown leaps and bounds since our freshman year, is her ability to be patient at the plate, great plate discipline, and knowing who she is in this lineup at this point in the season, knowing that teams are working around her. The difficult part is you have 2 names to circle in this lineup as women that you don't want to let beat you. One of them is Claire Davidson, but the other one is Amina Vega, as we see Aaliyah Terrell pinch running.
Terrell, the Greensboro native, transfer from Boston College in her first year in a Blue Devil uniform. Speedy player, brought in to run for the lead runner, which was Tapia.
Yeah, I really like this move by Marissa Young, knowing that Giselle Tapia is not known for her speed. Having Amina Vega up, the RBI queen, if you will, of this team.
And Vega to the left center field gap. The RBI queen is going to give Duke the lead.
The difficult part is if you pitch around Davidson, you got to pitch to Vega. This time Vega takes a pitch on the outside half, holds her line, keeps on it, doesn't try to do too much, and the RBI queen gets the first run of the night for the Duke Blue Devils.
Her 38th run driven in this year, and that matches her with Claire Davidson for the team lead. So Duke had left runners aboard each of the first couple of innings. Couldn't push across that first run. Now the Blue Devils do so with a 1-out single by Vega. And now, in hindsight, which hindsight's always 20/20, but how big is that non-double play ball now?
Huge, huge. In elite teams, when you play elite teams, you cannot give them opportunities. And we talked to head coach Megan Smith-Lyon before this matchup, and she said we have to play nearly perfectly on all sides of the ball to have a chance to compete with Duke. They're just so talented. And there, of course, not a mistake, not an error in the scorebook, but a missed opportunity for this Carolina defense.
3 balls and no strikes on Anna Gold. Gold, who has been sitting for over a month in a tie for the Duke all-time home run record. 35 for her career, tied with Christina Foreman. Looks over a strike here.
And we talked about Amina Vega and Claire Davidson as the most powerful hitters in this lineup, but coming into the season, the story was Anna Gold. And she's been so good throughout her career, so if she gets hot, to add to those two, they will be so tough to beat going down the stretch.
Well, Gold, without taking the bat off her shoulder, loads up the bases for the Blue Devils. She's able to draw a walk here as Megan Smith-Lyon sends her pitching coach Maddie Hollab out to the circle for a conversation with Kenna Ray Dark. She loads up the bases with 1 out and 1 run already home in this bottom of the 3rd. Torres, the batter, flew out to right field her first time. This time she'll single to left. 1 in. Here comes another. Throw is up the line, and Duke leads by 3.
Her teammates call her Clutch Kelly. In moments with the bases loaded, she is at her best. The senior takes a pitch over the middle and slams it into left field. Duke continues to be aggressive on the bases as Amina Vega scores, and the lead is now 3.
Clutch Kelly keeps the train moving, and the 7th Blue Devil to come to the plate this inning is Francesca Frelich. Good job by Emmerling to keep that ball at her feet, not let it get away. So if you are Kenna Ray Dark here, 2nd trip through the order, Duke is pouncing all over. What do you want to see differently?
You got to mix speeds. You got to be able to paint both sides of the plate, and that's a tall task. It's very difficult to do. This Duke team so good 2nd and 3rd time through the order.
Frelich fights off the 1-0 foul.
And really with the depth of this Carolina bullpen, I don't imagine the leash is too long for Kenna Ray Dark, knowing it's a long series and knowing that the arms that they have to use. So you can't let this get too far out of hand if you're Carolina, but you also know you've had opportunities offensively.
Time called because that ball that was hit foul was thrown back onto the field. Someone trying to do the right thing, send it back out there, make sure that it can be used to continue play, but you don't need another ball sitting around in foul territory as someone's getting ready to throw a pitch. Frelich, oh, a laser right to Destiny Middleton. Right place, right time.
What a play by Destiny Middleton. They call it the hot corner for a reason. Stabs this one, saves a couple runs for Carolina. What a play by Destiny Middleton.
If she was 2 feet closer to the second base bag, that ball is down the left field line and probably ticketed for the corner. First pitch foul ball off the bat of Sarah Goddard. Duke is going up there aggressive against Dark, 2nd trip through. Goddard swung at the first pitch, now the 0-1 is hit to right center field. Backing up on it, Alex Coleman. She'll make the catch to retire the side. But the Blue Devils been a more lopsided inning, not for Destiny Middleton, making a hot shot snag at 3rd base to deny Francesca Frelich. Now the Tar Heels will try and get some of it back with Sanaa Thompson, Carly Myrtle, and the aforementioned Middleton. Thompson, a single her first time up, one of 4 singles for the Tar Heels tonight. Carolina team in search of their first road win of the season in ACC play. Now, to be fair, it's only their 4th ACC road game, a little bit of an imbalanced schedule with 3 of their first 4 home series in ACC play. They were swept at Clemson, and talking about playing good teams, taking advantage of chances, that was another series where even though it ended up as a sweep, it was more competitive. It was closer than a sweep indicates.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and it never feels good to see losses, to get swept, but it's kind of a measuring stick of where you are as a program, and this program is not going to be quiet for long. I mean, I would even argue they're not quiet now, but the future of this North Carolina softball program is just, it's going to be incredible.
First-year head coach Megan Smith-Lyon. The young core and players like Sanaa Thompson at the plate, and Coach Smith-Lyon not shy talking about goals either. You know, you hear some coaches in their first year, they say, yeah, you know, we want to focus on the process, take it one day at a time, throw out your, you know, cliche coach lines there. But Coach Smith-Lyon said, no, we want to have a winning season. Hasn't happened here in a while. We want to be one of those 64 that hears our name called.
And what I love about the culture that she's creating is it's not different than what it was before. It's building upon what it was before under the Hall of Famer coach Donna J. Papa. Megan Smith-Lyon being one of her players back in the 90s, she says, I'm not trying to be anything 180 difference. I'm trying to add on to what Coach Donna Papa built.
3-2 on Thompson. And it's adding on and building in an ACC that is infinitely more competitive than, say, 10, 15 years ago, and continues to get tougher because of programs like Duke and like Clemson that were started from scratch and have gone from literal nothing to Oklahoma City contenders. As Wright pulls the string and strikes out Thompson on a nice changeup.
And this is what we call nasty stuff. Like you said, Matt pulls the string, tries to go away, actually ends up going in, but doesn't matter when you have that kind of movement and the sort of the deception that Jayla Wright uses with the drop ball and layering that pitch with a changeup. Really nice pitch by the senior.
It's the strikeout for Jayla Wright, her 4th of her outing. Deal with Carly Myrtle. Myrtle was able to get underneath of a drop ball her last time up, gave it a ride. Out to center field, just enough for the ballpark to hold it though. Myrtle coming off a big weekend last weekend in the series win against Notre Dame. A walk-off double to win the series.
And don't let the average fool you. I mean, that number doesn't really jump off the page, but Carly Myrtle has been one of the hottest hitters in this lineup as of late. She's swinging it with aggression, really good plate discipline, a ton of power in the bat of Myrtle, the junior. I mean, it just speaks to the depth of this UNC lineup. I mean, 1 through 9, it just doesn't get easier for any of the opposing pitchers.
Talking to Megan Smith-Lyon, she told a story about Myrtle and how she started the year in the lineup, was taken out of the starting 9, but never lost her intensity and focus at practice. And that was just something that shone through, as Coach Smith-Lyon said, overhearing a conversation that Myrtle was having with her teammates about staying locked in, being ready when her name was called. What do you know, when Automoan goes down, Myrtle's thrust into action, winds up winning a series with a walk-off double. And now, on what I believe is a pitch timer violation, Myrtle will draw a walk.
Yeah, brand new rule, 25 seconds to 20 seconds. Third base umpire, in this case Aaron Golden, on top of that one. And we see the lack of relay in that technology, but it doesn't get you out of the rule of the 20-second pitch clock.
And these are all things that teams will adjust to as time goes along, and little bugs in the system, so to speak, that won't get worked out unless it's put into play. Destiny Middleton, ball and a strike now on her. As a former player who now sees the game from this angle, what do you think of the pitch clock concept?
I think it's great. I think you can learn a lot from Major League Baseball and the increased popularity that they had with the pitch clock. You know, obviously, with the new technology, it's kind of worked opposite in some ways because of the wristbands not working at times all across the country, not only Duke. But that, like you mentioned, will get ironed out as years goes on, and I'm really excited to see the way this sport grows and progresses as the years go on.
Middleton guides it. Baker on to second. They'll get the lead runner.
And that's really nice pre-pitch awareness by Jada Baker. A captain on this team, a leader in this infield, understanding the speed and direction of the ball in relation to the speed of your base runners. Knowing she had time to get that leadoff out, gets the second out of the inning here in the fourth.
That's a mix of pre-pitch awareness of what's going on the base paths in front of her, and also being able to make that decision in the matter of milliseconds as to where she's going to throw it.
Yeah, and for any young players watching, that's a communication thing that you have with your teammates. Hey, slow roller, I'm going 1. Hard shot to me, I'm definitely going 2.
Carson Sneed, the batter, down in the count, 0-2. Jayla Wright now a strike away from putting a 0 on the scoreboard, just a half inning after her team broke through for 3 runs. This is a really big plate appearance with the dangerous Alex Coleman awaiting on deck for the Tar Heels, and only 2 outs, 1 runner already aboard. Sneed swings through it. Jayla Wright continues. Wright mowing down the Tar Heels. 4 scoreless frames. Carolina, meanwhile, opening play today. 7th in the ACC standings. Top 6 receive a first-round bye. That's an important threshold the Tar Heels are pursuing, but do have 3 of their last 4 series on the road. And of those 3 road series, Rain, Duke is one of them. Florida State's another one of them. That is quite the assignment.
Yeah, the strength of schedule is definitely going to tick up a bit. But no better teams to play as you head down the stretch. You know, in the conference tournament, anything can happen. And for North Carolina right now, with a month to go, there's a question of for an at-large bid. They're kind of, from my perspective, they're definitely on the outside looking at this moment. But a couple huge opportunities to build their resume as they head down the stretch.
Meanwhile, from a Duke standpoint, they've got the series win over Florida State, a series win that Marissa Young said was so pivotal in earning the national awareness that she felt her program deserves. But the key for Duke is top 8 come selection time. As Baker hits a bouncer up the middle, Settlemyre is going to have it, throw on to first, close play but good play. Baker is retired by her counterpart. Yeah, Duke wanting to host a super regional for a 2nd straight year. Top 8 guarantees you that as long as you keep winning. Yeah,
absolutely. You definitely don't want to be the 8th, though, at this point, knowing who's likely going to be number 1 down the stretch. It's the Oklahoma Sooners. And it's not a comfortable spot. But, you know, it's interesting to see how it all play out because Florida State right now only sits with 2 losses in the ACC. And you look at the road ahead for Duke, and they have to play Clemson 3 games. They're going to Virginia, or excuse me, Virginia's going to come to Durham, but a little bit harder of a road. And so I think it's a pride point, too, to win the ACC regular season, something Duke has never done before. And also kind of defending the home turf in the ACC tournament as well.
You win the regular season, you're going to get the 1 seed. As Jennings hits a bouncer that goes off the glove of Myrtle, all hands are safe, and Duke's got a 1-out base runner in the 4th.
And Deanna Jennings continues to use the ground, this time to the right side, which we don't typically see from her. But she uses her speed. Carly Myrtle unable to field that cleanly. And anytime it hits off the glove of any defender, you can almost count for certain that Deanna Jennings can be safe at first.
All-American a year ago as a freshman. Still awaiting the official scorer's decision on that last play. I think it should be a hit. That's just me. Tapia, fly ball to no one's land, and it falls in. No one took charge for the Tar Heels. Giselle Tapia will take it. 2 on, 1 out for Duke.
Giselle Tapia actually gets jammed up. A really nice pitch by Kenna Ray Dark. But like you said, falls in the Bermuda Triangle of the outfield. But things happen before they happen, right? Giselle Tapia has a ton of pop in her bat, so the outfield was playing back. Steed and Thompson unable to make the play, and Duke has something cooking here in the bottom of the 4th.
The dangerous Claire Davidson at the plate drew a 4-pitch walk her last time, just an inning ago. So you're saying a ball like that, shortstop, center field, left field, because of the outfield positioning, it's more a positioning byproduct than a communication breakdown?
I think it could be a little bit of both, because it's a pre-pitch communication piece. And that Abby Settlemeyer and Skylar Brooks need to turn around and see where their outfield is playing. Okay, I know Carson's deep, I know Sanaa's deep, I know I've got to attack those fly balls. And for infielders, a good rule of thumb is it's yours until it's not. Go make the play and let your outfielders call you off. I would like to see Abby Settlemeyer go after that ball a little bit more.
So now it's 2-1 on Davidson. Settlemeyer made a really nice play on the ground ball by Jada Baker to start this inning, but since back-to-back singles by Jennings and Tapia. A Duke team that struck for 3 runs in the 3rd inning, now threatening for more here in the 4th.
And you can look at this at bat and say, oh my goodness, Kenna Ray Dark's missing all over the place. She's not throwing strikes. There's a reason, right? The pressure that a batter, one of the hottest batters in this lineup, puts on you as a pitcher to not make mistakes over the middle of the plate cannot be understated.
Works the outside corner, gets a called strike. 3-2. Good pitch from Dark. Full count on Davidson, and the ACC's Player of the Week, Amina Vega, awaiting on deck. Payoff pitch. Davidson to left field, right at Thompson, who makes the catch. Runners have to retreat. That's a huge out for the sophomore Kenna Ray Dark.
Yeah, you'll definitely take that one. And as a pitcher, the batter before Giselle Tapia finds a hole with a well-executed pitch that you jam her up on. Then you give up a line shot by Davidson, and that's why this game is so beautiful, because things seem to even out naturally.
But by no means the Tar Heels out of the inning. Here's Amina Vega. Singled her last time to give Duke the lead. Pulls it foul, 1-1. Player that Marissa Young says keeps things loose and light, has really come into her own this year, her 2nd in a Duke uniform. One. Fouled off the plate for strike 2.
Yeah, one thing about Amina Vega coming from last year to this year, she's cut down on the strikeouts. Her pitch selection is nearly perfect. She's identified where teams are trying to attack her, low it in, and she's made those adjustments to just kind of be a complete hitter in this Duke lineup.
Vega, bouncing ball. Brooks handles it, wins the foot race to the bag, and Kenna Ray Dark with a couple of critical outs, keeping this 8th part. She's been very effective.
Yeah, she's settled in. She's found some command with that changeup. As we see an illegal pitch by our home plate umpire, Chris Tahanika. So it'll be ball 1 actually to start for Alex Coleman.
Ball, no strikes on Coleman, who's 2 for 2 so far today. outside. Scoreboard reads 1-1, but as Rain told you, the illegal pitch is another ball waiting for Chris Hanukkah to make such a signal. Wright is ready. Down low, and Coleman walks. So Alex Coleman aboard for a third time in this game.
Next up, number 24, Skylar
Yeah,
Brooks.
if Jayla Wright has had a kryptonite so far today, it's been Alex Coleman. And credit the junior, she's just been so good. Great plate discipline, uses the ground, and there uses the eyes.
But even though Coleman's been on base 3 times, try this on for size. Hitters 2 for 5 in the Tar Heel lineup, combined 0 for 7 with a walk. That's it.
And that's what you want to see if you're head coach Marissa Young. I mean, of course you want to see over, but you want to see your pitcher, after giving up the free base, after giving up the single, to bear down and attack hitters.
Coleman, a little nubber, or rather Skylar Brooks at the plate. Trickles foul for a strike. We said a couple of times early on in the ball game that it felt like a critical moment for Carolina. They had those innings where they got runners to third base, couldn't bring them in to score. This is another inning that feels really big because you're not guaranteed to have this top of the lineup come up again if Wright keeps mowing them down like this. Brooks back up the middle, beats the shift. Coleman hustling, she'll take third, and something is in business for the Tar Heels. They'll have the tying run at the plate.
Yeah, really nice execution here by Skylar Brooks. Slap up the middle, swings through it, finds a barrel, but really great base running by Alex Coleman to read Deanna Jennings moving to her left, knowing she could take third, takes advantage, and you're right, Matt, something is cooking for Carolina here in the 5th.
Ball to first and a ground ball to second today. But as Rain has told you throughout the broadcast, Settlemeyer as a player has got some pop.
And it's interesting, too, because head coach Marissa Young has her Duke defense playing baseline. Middles are playing baseline, meaning they're not playing for the double play potential, which I agree with that because of knowing the speed of this Carolina offense. But you're up 3. I would go for outs here.
Settlemeyer, left center field, and a great catch made in left. Coleman will come in to score. Sarah Goddard, the left fielder, laying out to make the play. Big first out in the inning. That's kind of a win-win play for both teams.
Yeah, this is great softball all around. Abby Settlemeyer gets this drop ball and gets under it and hits into the outfield, which is exactly what you need to do with Alex Coleman on third base. But Goddard's got it in left field. The diving play to save potentially a few more runs later in this inning by getting an out. So crucial for this Duke defense. And if you're Carolina, you'll take the run.
Tar Heels on the scoreboard, and now their leader in home runs, standing at the plate, Isabella Emmerling. 11 of them on the season. Rain, this has been a fun matchup all night. Emmerling struck out swinging in her first plate appearance, drew a walk in the second, now stands in an even more pivotal spot here in the 5th. Brooks takes off, throw down to second. Skylar Brooks gets her way to scoring position.
Yeah, Matt, I was about to mention how I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen Carolina use the run game, but there we see Skylar Brooks showing off the wheels, a really good jump, a dive, and she steals the bag and gets herself in scoring position with Isabella Emmerling, one of the biggest RBI threats on this team.
Swing and a miss, 59 on the changeup. The drop ball changeup combo, it's lethal from right against anybody, but against Emmerling especially tonight. It's been impressive.
Yeah, Emmerling just having such a hard time identifying it out of the hand. I mean, most hitters do, but credit Jayla Wright for tunneling those pitches so incredibly well.
Bounces it in. Brooks on the move. To like a big ride around third. She's going to try and score, and she will! Holy cow!
And that is huge by Skylar Brooks. She reads a ball in the dirt, but watch this. She's going to round third and make contact with Anna Gold. She knows it's obstruction. She knows that she has the opportunity to score. And even without the obstruction call, she's safe at home. Steals a run for the Carolina Tar Heels. And they're within one.
Let's go, Skylar Brooks screams. And Marissa Young, Duke head coach, said to us before the game, we know North Carolina likes to cause havoc on the base paths. They like to cause chaos out there. That is exactly what has transpired here in this fifth inning. Strike three called on Emmerling for a second out.
And that especially hurts if you're Duke and Jayla Wright. I mean, you can read it in the body language here. Just paints the drop ball over the middle, freezes up Emmerling, tries to sell the walk, but strike three all the way. And to be in control of an at bat like that, and to give up the pass ball that was, 15 feet from the plate, and have Brooks score from second hurts if you're Duke, but made credit the Carolina offense and the base running.
Ground ball to third, picked up there by Gold onto first. And even after all of that, Duke will get out of the top of the fifth, maintaining the lead. Anna Gold lined out to second and was walked today. Three Duke runs in the third, 2 Carolina runs, top of the fifth. Now bottom of inning number 5. See if Duke can respond. Gold down the right field line. It'll drop down foul.
And that's a really nice adjustment by Anna Gold. Knowing you're getting pitched away by Kenneray Dark's best pitch, which is her drop curveball. That time a little too far foul, and for Kenneray Dark, you'll take that strike any day of the week. But typically Anna Gold has struggled with that outside pitch in terms of she'll try to wrap around it, but they're a really nice swing by the junior.
And that's an adjustment that we've been talking about all game long, seeing if Duke's right-handed hitters can adjust to Dark's drop curve on the outside edge, because that's where she's been able to consistently throw it all night.
Yeah, and she's mixed it very effectively with that inner half as well. And so you can't sell out for one side or the other with these righties, and especially with less than two strikes, I should say, you have to pick a side and commit to that plan.
Gold well early on that one, but sends it. Look at that. I mean, that ball is bouncing way, way away from Duke Softball Stadium.
Yeah, Anna Gold is a freak athlete, works incredibly hard in the weight room, one of the strongest women on this team, and that's what she's capable of doing every single time she steps into the box.
Bouncer wide of third, and it feels like it's kind of a when, not if, that she becomes the all-time leading home run hitter in Duke softball history.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. I mean, she will cross that mark, of course, now that it's sort of hanging over her head and the broadcasters jinxed. We're talking about it every game. But you're right, Matt. She will eventually get there.
You mean to say that we jinx things? But here's a bold prediction for you. I think when she hits that 36th homer, she's probably going to hit 4 or 5 more in the next 10 games or so, because that pressure will be off. One-two pitch from Dark. There's a fly ball, left field, tailing foul, and it'll get out of play. Had the distance, too far to the left.
And this is an uncomfortable spot if you're Kenneray Dark and Coach Holub in the UNC dugout calling pitches, because now she's barreled up pitches all over the zone. She's gone the drop curve, she shot it out to right field, She's seeing that upper end pitch well, and she's also fouled off that changeup well.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Gold continues to battle. Hitting skills honed in backyard wiffle ball games with her dad, her brother Luke, who played at Boston College, younger brother Joseph, committed to Boston College for baseball. 2-2. Gold to right. Out of play, foul.
Yeah, she's seeing it well. She's seeing it well, and you mentioned her family. She comes from a very athletic family, a wonderful family. And when she was in high school, she was hitting front toss on a baseball field. Front toss meaning someone's right in front with a net, and hit the ball out of a baseball field, a softball, 300 feet in high school. So that just speaks to the power that this young woman has in her bat.
Pop up, shallow right. Brooks underneath it. Gold saw it well, all at bat, but ultimately Dark gets her to pop out.
Yeah, that's just really well executed pitches by Kenna Ray Dark. To go up and in, to use the changeup, to keep expanding away, and the way you beat Anna Gold is you let her beat herself. That pitch, movement off the outside edge, gets the easy fly out. Really, really nice pitching by Kenna Ray Dark.
We've talked about Carolina's pitching depth a lot during this game. Obviously, Kenna Ray Dark continuing into the 5th, able to retire Gold there, but how long do you stick with her in this situation?
I mean, I think you keep with her as long as she looks like that, as long as she starts pitching like that, and it's not like she's been beaten by the long ball, hasn't given up a ton of walks either. And also, you save your bullpen for the rest of the series. Because as we can kind of see with this Duke team, the more they see you, the more data points they get as hitters, the better off they are. So right now, I mean, there's 4 or 5 arms in the UNC bullpen that Duke will have not seen maybe going into game 2.
Kelly Torres, the batter, 2 balls and a strike on her. Game 2 tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Catch game 3 Sunday night on ACC Network. Mark Neely and former head coach of the Tar Heels, Donna J. Papa, will have the call for that one. Carolina boasts a pitching staff of 7 different arms. No one stepped up as a true ace yet. I don't know if that's a problem, to be honest with you, because Carolina has so many different arms they can throw.
Well, I think we're seeing the sport move further and further from the ace. You know, even looking at Duke, of course, you have Jayla Wright, Cassidy Curry that come to mind, but they have a deep bullpen as well. And so as long as your pitchers are bought into the idea of pitching as a staff, I think you can be very successful.
Torres, weak bouncer, back to Dark, who fields her position well. Longtime North Carolina fans remember Brittany Pickett, who was throwing essentially every game for the Tar Heels around the time that you were playing for Duke, Rain.
I remember playing Brittany quite a few times. Nasty curveball, high velo, could pull the string on the changeup as well. I mean, and Kenna Ray Dark, although a right-hander, not the lefty that Brittany Pickett was, she is now spinning it well. And although Duke has a lead, I feel like the momentum has shifted into the Carolina dugout.
Especially if Dark can retire Freelick here and get a scoreless frame. That shutdown inning after your offense gets the job done at the plate.
Yeah, it's huge for the dugout. It's huge for the momentum. And, I mean, and UNC right now offensively is clicking. They're really clicking off Jayla Wright.
Yeah, you saw the Tar Heels there looking on in the dugout, watching their team do their thing out in the field. One. Freelick, right center. See ya. Francesca Freelick's 4th homer of the year. And Duke's back up by 2.
And right after we say the momentum is in the Carolina dugout, Francesca Frelich says, wait a minute, a pitch over the middle, turns it around, keeps her barrel out in front of her, extends through this one and sends it 240 into the construction site. Francesca Frelich, a huge one-run shot to give Duke some insurance here in the 5th.
Homer into the construction site. Talk about building a lead.
Wow, that was good.
Ground ball by Goddard over to Middleton at third. Sends it across to retire the side. So, Duke 4-2 game on to the top of the 6th. Jayla Wright continuing in the circle for Duke. Sanaa Thompson, it's a first pitch grounder. Close play at first, and she's out. Immediate call for a review from the Tar Heels.
And our umpires definitely have a difficult job of seeing the speed of these women in real time, but just purely based on reaction alone of Sanaa Thompson. You know, I'm not a betting woman with all these online betting sites these days, but I would put my money that Sanaa Thompson might have been safe over there at first.
All right, so as the umpires begin their review, we take a look.
Yeah, this one's chopped at the middle. Jada Baker gets rid of it as fast as she can, but it's the speed by Sanaa Thompson to make that play even close on what looked like a routine ground ball. We'll take a look. What a nice shot by our crew here in Durham. So right foot
Safe.
On the bag, ball in the glove. I think you're right, Matt. I think she's safe.
The ball may have entered the webbing of the glove. Thompson is safe, and Carly Myrtle will stand in as the tying run for North Carolina. Swing and a miss. The first pitch changeup. Wright pulled the string right out of the gate. Had Myrtle fooled.
It's just a nasty pitch, especially for these Carolina hitters who are sitting velocity, sitting on that drop ball out of the hand. It looks like it's going to be just that, and then it just slows down by 10 miles per hour.
So there's Thompson at first. Called safe after the review. Do you ever remember a moment, Rain, where you signaled safe even though you knew deep down you were out trying to influence
Every
it?
single time. I do recall a play actually against Carolina because it was the worst call I've ever been a part of. And no offense to this umpire, I mean, it's a very difficult job, but I had run through the bag. I mean, 2 steps later, ball came, he called me out, and I just put my hand on his shoshoulder, and it was like, man, you missed it. It's okay, but you missed it.
Everybody has a bad day.
Exactly.
But yeah. Myrtle wide at third, 2-2.
And he kind of looked at me at the time. We didn't have review, but I remember being told by I think it was my mom, hey, don't touch the umpire. I was trying to be nice.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah, I'm like,
right?
it's okay.
Yeah.
Listen, you missed it.
Strike 3 called on Myrtle. And Wright bounces back with a looking K of the Carolina first baseman.
That's a really nice pitch by Jayla Wright going back to the the changeup. I mean, she's even fooling me from up in the booth. I can't imagine how Carly Myrtle feels after the looking strikeout.
And 17, Carly Myrtle, now batting.
Destiny Middleton waves and misses. Runner off and going, and Thompson is out.
And Francesca Frelich can do it on both sides of the ball. The speedy Sanaa Thompson takes off the steal, but it's a shot and a bullet by Francesca Frelich to get the hand. An absolute gun show by the senior. I do think, though, if you're Sanaa Thompson there, she tried to hook slide. If she goes straight in there, she has a chance to be safe.
The hook slide allowed the throw to get there.
Absolutely. And a really nice tag by Amina Vega to find the hand quickly.
Another illegal pitch.
So watch Jayla Wright's hands as she goes up and down to give the signal, and that's an illegal pitch. Our home plate umpire signaled the separation of the glove and the hand. I didn't see that, but nonetheless an illegal pitch and a ball assessed to the batter.
Three and two on Middleton. Inside, may have clipped her, doesn't matter. It's ball four. Either way, Middleton will reach.
Next number two, Carson Sneed.
Yeah, one thing started to notice about Jayla Wright, we've talked all game long about the one-way communication devices, the little watch that these pitchers are. Yeah, you said it, Lily Walker, one of the most premier relievers, and like we talked about earlier, there's not many relievers, but look at the numbers. Less than 1 ERA, 15 appearances, 35 innings, 24 strikeouts, and does not give up the free pass often with only those 7 walks.
Comes in with 2 out. Carson Sneed at the plate, who's down in the count 0-2. What are the adjustments Carolina needs to make here against a lefty after seeing the righty and right for 5 2/3?
Well, first off, you have to understand what Lily Walker is trying to do. She's not going to try to blow it by you. She's just going to try to mix speeds early and often. So you have to recognize that you're going to get the changeup at least once every count.
Steed watches it trickle away. There it was at 59. Tar Heels began this inning with a leadoff single from Sanaa Thompson. She was caught stealing. Carly Myrtle struck out looking, and then Destiny Middleton was hit by a pitch. Sneed hits a looper. Moving back, Baker's got it to retire the side. Walker comes. Hannibal will face a pinch hitter in Amaya Burgess and deal a first pitch strike. So Burgess hitting for Jada Baker. Deanna Jennings, Giselle Tapia. Also due to hit here for Duke in the last of the 6th. The chance for the Blue Devils to add some insurance.
Yeah, Maya Burgess has been one of the freshmen that is most impressed. Head coach Marissa Young, she's found her way into the lineup, plays really good defense. And on many teams, she'd be part of the starting 9. She's been in and out of the starting lineup, but is a powerful bat to pinch hit late in games.
Two balls and a strike to count on Burgess. Duke with 3 runs in the 3rd. Francesca Frelick solo homer in the bottom of the 5th. They currently lead this game by a pair. There's Marissa Young. She's added the puffy jacket. Trying to see if her team can get to an 18-0 home record. Bouncer back to the circle. Hannibal over to first. So Hannibal picks up right where Kenna Ray Dark left off. No strikeouts for the Tar Heel starter tonight, but Carolina's done well inducing ground ball contact against this Duke lineup.
Yeah, they defended their positions well, and anytime you can do that, help your own case, you help your team, of course. And a really nice job by Talia Hannibal to come into this game and it had to be a little bit of a surprise for her to come in at the beginning of an inning, but a fresh inning to start for the senior, and a really good start it is.
Deanna Jennings 2 for 2 out of the 9 spot. Showed off her speed a couple of times. Jennings, high fly ball, left center field. Thompson backpedaling on it, makes the catch. She was playing in against a lefty slapper, and Jennings gave it a ride. Thompson, a good adjustment in the outfield.
Yeah, you don't often see Deanna Jennings go with the power slap up in the air, But here gets a nice barrel on it, and a really nice job by the freshman Sanaa Thompson to track back. I mean, as an outfielder, when you're playing in on a slap, you're expecting everything in front. So really nice job to have a drop step, get back to that ball, and make the play.
Back to the top of the order in Tapia. Yeah, everybody's playing in, anticipating, okay, probably a ground ball if she puts it in play, and then, oh goodness, it's coming my direction. I've got to make an adjustment ASAP. Tapia 1 out of 3 tonight, single in the 4th inning. So looking ahead to the top of the 7th, the Tar Heels will have the top of their order up. Needing 2 runs to continue the game, 3 runs to take the lead. Tapia down the left field line. That is, of course, unless Duke builds a 2-out rally here. Given who's at the plate in Tapia and the Davidson and Vega awaiting, very possible.
Yeah, and one would feel really good right here for Duke, knowing Alex Coleman's going to lead off the next inning. Insurance is at a premium.
And Tapia gets hit on the arm. So she'll make her way on down to first. Duke with a 2-out base runner. Insurance is at a premium. Did you do that on purpose?
No way. No way. The last thing you want to do is put Giselle Tapia on and then have to deal with Claire Davidson, Amina Vega, and Anna Goal right behind her.
Next up, number 7, Claire Davidson.
So Tapia aboard. Here's Davidson, leading hitter on the Blue Devil roster. Has another knock today, has also walked and scored. That walk was a 4-pitch walk. And swings and sends that one to right field. There's your insurance. 10th long ball of the year for Davidson.
Claire Davidson has been getting a steady diet of pitches on the inside half. Here in her 3rd at-bat, she steps off the plate, and a pitch on the black inner half gets her barrel around, creates space with her body, and does what she's been doing all year long, finding barrels, hitting balls hard, and hitting balls out of the park, and Duke gets the insurance they wanted.
6-2 ball game, and there is that 2-out rally that we spoke of.
And we talked to head coach Megan Smith-Lyon before this series, and we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast about not making mistakes, having to be kind of perfect, nearly perfect on all sides of the ball. And so you look at that hit by pitch with 2 outs to put Tapia on, and all of a sudden Claire Davidson turns one around, and now the lead's extended to 4. And it's just such a higher mountain to climb against this bullpen of Duke as opposed to that 2-run lead.
Lily Walker came in, got the last out of the last inning. There's a liner right at Skylar Brooks, and it will end the last of the 6th. Claire Davidson with a 2-run home run.
To be one of the best in the country.
Blue Devils got some insurance in the bottom of the 6th. The 2-run home run from Claire Davidson. Now leading it by 4, trying to go to 18-0 at home this year. Alex Coleman leading off, top of the order for North Carolina. Cuts and misses at that pitch from Walker, 0-2. Blue Devils utilizing 4 players in the infield. Even against Coleman, they had been using 5 the majority of the game.
And now you don't do that because you want to prevent the big inning, prevent the doubles, prevent the triples by Alex Coleman. So we're all game long. We've seen Claire Davidson out in right field come in, play first base, and shift the 3-4s over sort of to the left side. Now we see all outfielders in their normal positions.
Swing and a miss by Coleman. 49 on the hanging pitch.
Not only does Lily Walker have one of the best ERAs in the ACC, but one of the best changeups. Works all kinds of pitches, pulls the string, keeps Coleman guessing, and one of the best bat-to-ball players I've ever seen in college softball strikes out swinging.
First pitch strike on Skylar Brooks. The movement on that changeup.
It's the movement too, but it's also mirrored against a 62-mile-per-hour fastball that now with that changeup looks 70. I mean, it's such a testament to the work that Lily Walker has put in, but for young pitchers out there, you don't have to blow it by people. If you have a good mix of movement and command and changing of speeds, I mean, you can be very successful at the high level. And you look at Lily Walker, and young kids think they have to hit 70 miles per hour and kind of sacrifice command and attacking hitters. No, that's just not the case. But I do want to say 70 does help. 70 is, is a good thing. If you hit that, there's nothing wrong with that either.
It's beneficial. It could play.
It could play.
Brooks, weak contact on the 2-1, bobbled by Walker, and Skylar Brooks is aboard. Brooks tapped that so softly, it barely got to the circle.
And Lily Walker is one of the very best at fielding her own position. Here, charges it, expects it, but just fumbles it in the glove, and that's what speed does to defenses. It makes you move too quickly. It doesn't give you the luxury of looking the ball in, making a nice, easy throw over. And a really nice job by Skylar Brooks to find a way on.
Brings Abby Settlemeyer to the plate, singled her last time up. Drops it down for a bunt strike. Also worth noting that for defensive purposes, Kelsey Zampa's in the game in left field for Duke, replacing Sarah Goddard. Right in there for strike two. Walker's pitch. Throws her.
Lily Walker so good at mixing pitches. Here goes with a curveball that paints the black, freezes the senior Abby Settlemeyer, and gets the crucial second out of this inning here in the top of the seventh.
Last hope for the Tar Heels is Isabella Emmerling, the catcher. 2 strikeouts and a walk tonight. Two and nothing. Jada Wright started at 5 2/3, very solid, was able to work around some early trouble first couple innings without allowing the Tar Heels to strike in the first couple frames. Walker trying to finish the job. Change up in there for a strike. Emmerling to left center field on a line. And it's gone. Isabella Emmerling with her team-leading 12th of the year. So now it's a 2-run game. Right back to where we were an inning ago.
And there is absolutely no quit in this Tar Heels team, and it's Isabella Emmerling taking a hanging pitch arm side and line drive out of the stadium. She knew it right away. This one just creeps over the wall. I mean, what a swing by Isabella Emerling. I mean, made that look easy, trying to fire up her teammate and say, hey, we're not done yet.
Just snuck over that wall. And it's very difficult to hit a ball between the wall and the bottom of the scoreboard, and Emerling did it.
Yeah, that was a shot. That was an absolute shot, and it just speaks to the type of hitter that Emerling is, to go 0 for 3 on the day with 2 strikeouts, excuse me, 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts, and then to come up and not pout and put a swing like that. Wow.
1-1 on Lexi Godwin, the DP. Couple of swinging strikeouts for her. Lily Walker trying to finish the job.
But I mean, Matt, you even go back to the last 10th inning. Hit by pitch with 2 outs. Claire Davidson gets up, hit the 2-run shot. I mean, how crucial is that now?
Turns out to be a game winner, essentially, if Duke can hang on.
And I think if you're head coach Megan Smith-Lyon, and if this game does not go in your favor, there's a lot of bright spots to point to heading into the rest of the series, because this is only game 1 of 3.
Game 2 tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Game 3 Sunday, 7 o'clock under the lights. 1-2 pitch, Walker trying to shut the door. Strike 3 called, and the Blue Devils win it. Godwin is frozen. Duke wins it 6-4. And the first edition of the rivalry goes to the Blue Devils.
Yeah, all the way around. Lily Walker coming in, slamming the door shut on the University of North Carolina rally. Freezes up Godwin for the final out. She's stunned.
Without gas, lost in the darkness, can't find my way. My heart's gone missing, led astray. In the depths of sorrow, I search in vain for the pieces of my heart lost in pain. Where did it go? I ask in despair, in the empty echoes. No one's there. I wander aimlessly through the night, hoping to reclaim what once was right. My heart's been lost in the shadows of doubt. I'll find it again, I'll scream and shout. Through the trials and tears, I'll never stop till my heart is found and the pain drops on. In the silence of the night, I hear his call, a distant whisper through the wall. I follow the sound with hope renewed, knowing deep inside my heart's imbued with strength and courage. I'll forge ahead through the darkness where my heart has fled. For in the depths of despair, I find my light and reclaim my heart with all my heart's been lost in the shadows of doubt. I'll find it again, I'll scream and shout. Through the trials and tears, I'll never stop till my heart is found and the pain drops on. With every step I take, I draw near to the beating of my heart loud and clear. For though it was lost, it's never too late to find my heart again and seal my fate. In the journey of life we may stray, but